This video is brought to you by the Farmer Klein YouTube channel. Be sure to like, subscribe, and comment.
Hey everybody, and welcome back to another Map First Impressions video. Today we're going to take a look at the Great Plateaus. This map can be found over at the farmingsimulator.com website or the in-game mod hub, and as of the 1.0 release, this map is available for all platforms. Now before we get into the description, this video is brought to you by Squiggy486. Thank you for being a farm baron. Now this map has 3 required mods. They are the Broad 9000 in L by Black Eyes Modding, the DRL 140N by Black Eyes Modding, and the Grape Planter, again by Black Eyes Modding. Let's read a little bit of the description. It says, "Welcome to the Great Plateaus, a small farming community in the mountain region with a primary focus on grapes, olives, and forestry. There are 73 fields varying in size and shape. 12 fields have already been planted with grapes and olives. There's also a storage shed and silo setup, a nice vineyard farm. There are 5 main selling points as well as bale and wool selling stations. The BGA must be purchased to use. The main farm has cows and chickens. There's also a horse farm below the castle. This is a great place to enjoy the majestic views while tending to your fields." Now, the description says this map is seasons ready, which is correct. This map does indeed have a seasons mask. In fact, there's also a custom geo built into the map. Now, it lists precision farming DLC supported, and I have to balk at that. There is no custom soil map. There's also no provisions for the amount of nitrogen that the 2 sets of grapes, I believe red and white grapes, require, nor is there information related to how much nitrogen olives are needing. So if you play this map with precision farming, I don't really know what it's going to use as a basis for the nitrogen requirements for the white grapes, the red grapes, and the olives. And the map is going to have the generic soil map. So with that, let's go ahead and jump on in. We are going to go ahead and select the mods we typically use when we take a look at these maps, as well as the 3 required mods. That is the Broad 9000L, that is the Grape and Olive Harvester, the DRL 140N, which is the Grape and Olive Trailer, and the Grape Planter, which is set up to plant grapes and olive saplings. Let's go ahead and bring up the log, watch the map load on up. And there we go. So we'll say if you load this map up in Farm Manager or start from scratch, you do not own any land at the start, and some of the buildings you see here are missing, specifically the farmhouse and the silo. Now, some of these other sheds and barns are still here. They are permanently embedded in the map, regardless of the play mode you're in. And also in Farm Manager or Start from Scratch, you do not have any equipment at the start. Let's go ahead and take a look at the map. So just as a frame of reference, this area over here to the right of the cursor is out of bounds. Okay, so the map is maybe about 4/5 the standard map width. Down here we have our olives and our grapes. And then the rest of the map is pretty much set up for normal arable farming. And then we have our forested area. So we do have our standard crop types available to us here on Farm Sim 19, as well as red grape, white grape, and olive saplings. I have to say, don't recall any other maps being set up with olives, but since this map does require the grape planter, the broad 9000L, and the DRL 140N from the Giants Mod Hub, those are all set up right now to take olives. So I just may not have missed a map that is set up with olives. Maybe a map was updated and olives were added, because I typically don't look at updated maps. Take a look at the lands area. You'll see we start out by owning a lot of land. We pretty much own all of the what would typically be the unbuyable land, the decorative land, the road networks, sell points, etc. We also own the main farm here as well as field 2. As the description said, the biogas plant can be purchased for $206,000. We have the grape and olive farm down here, $235,000. And then the individual grape and olive fields can be purchased down here for anywhere between 60-some thousand and 80-some thousand dollars. Got a big forested area that you can buy for $1.1 million, and then a whole bunch of little fields scattered about. Let's go ahead and take a look and see what that default soil map looks like on this map. So as you can see down here, our grape and olives are silty clay and loam, a little bit of loam and sandy loam on this particular field. But the most of our fields over here is either clay or loam, and then a little bit of loamy sand scattered around and a little bit of sandy loam scattered around. Take a look at our sell points. We have 5 main sell points for the bulk of our crops. They've all been fairly creatively named sell point 1 through 5. We also have a spinnery for our cotton and wool. We have 5 sell points for eggs and milk. We do have the sawmill for logs and wood chips. And the barn, if you do not own the biogas plant, is going to accept your silage, hay, straw, and grass. Here we have the grapes, red grapes, white grapes, and olives. And they're going to be all accepted at all 5 sell points. And I appear to have forgotten to activate the straw harvest, so we don't see anything about the pellets. But typically, the barn is going to accept your pellets. We have our starting equipment here. All of it is new and none of it is leased. We do not have any animals at the start, even though we do own the cow pen and the chicken coop at the start. And we do have contracts available to us on the map. Let's take a look at that starting equipment. We start out with the New Holland T5 120 and the T6 175. So our tractors range in horsepower from 117 to 175. We have the New Holland TX32 harvester, and that is paired up with the TX32 grain header and the 5-row corn champion corn header. We have a pair of trailers in the TKD 1600 and HKD 302 trailer. We have the 1978 pickup truck. We've got the Star of Fox 11 kind of cover crop cultivator and planter. We've got the TT 5-in-1 subsoiler. That is interesting. We don't have a tractor powerful enough to pull it, but we do have it. We've got the Vanderstand Spirit R 300S seeder. We have the Limpkin Azoret 9 planter, and that is paired with the Solitar 23 companion fertilize tank. We've got the Breedal K105 lime and fertilize spreader, the pull behind disc bind mower. We've got the Zelon CFS 2501 forage wagon. We have the Knight RA 142 TMR mixer. Then we have our Joskins water trailer, front loader arms, bucket, bale spike, header trailer. Then we have our custom cow pasture chicken coop. We've got the grape and olive silo, two of those, liquid fertilizer tank, herbicide tank, and a power washer. Ooh, and then wrapping up the list of equipment is a placeable gas station and, of course, our farmhouse. Now, if we take a look here and we look under harvesters, we're going to find the custom grape and olive harvester right here. If we go to trailers, we're going to find the required mod trailer that is set up to transport grapes and olives. And then if we go to planters, we're going to find the custom sapling planter, which is just a modded Damcon PL75 that's set up for grapes and olives. We go here to objects and then pallets. We're going to find we have red grape saplings, white grape saplings, and olive tree saplings right there. So that's what we're going to be using to plant those particular crops. Take a look at our placeables. We do have the ability to put down the custom cow pasture, but we do not have the ability to put down the custom chicken coop. But in all reality, it is just the base game chicken coop. And I'm going to explain to you how I know that here in a little bit. Under miscellaneous, we have just the gas station that is modded in. Under silos, we have our grape and olive silo that is set up to only take grapes and olives. We have a herbicide tank and liquid fertilizer tank. No custom sheds, and then we have the in-game farmhouse. Let's go ahead and kind of tour around the main farm here. We do have the base game European farmhouse, so we have a sleep trigger here at the door. Our pickup truck. More equipment scattered around here. We have a lime silo as well as our liquid fertilizer and herbicide tanks. We have water. Now the water is here if you start in Farm Manager or start from scratch, as is this brick building. We have the placeable fuel tank. And then we have our harvesters and our tractor. Now I want to see. I think this silo here might be one of those grape and olive silos. So I just want to check. Because we do not own the grape or olive fields, nor that farm. But we have, whoops. But we had 2 grape and olive silos in the shop. This just be a quick check. So grapes, olives, white grapes. So yes, interesting choice in the fact that this farm is way up here. The grape and olive fields are down here. There's a grape and olive farm here we're going to take a look at. We don't own any of these fields. So nothing that's planted in grapes or olives. But the silo that is here at the main farm is only set up to hold grapes and olives. So very much be aware of that. Probably going to be selling that off and putting down a regular silo, PDQ, until you actually own and can reap the rewards of grapes and olives. So here we have the base game chicken area. We've got the egg spawn point. We have our chicken area. Go ahead and get that. 100 chickens. We do have the animal pen extension mod enabled. And the fact that we've got this indicator means that we can buy the water valves. And the fact that over here we have a water trigger tells me that this is the base game chicken coop, because base game chicken coop has water added if you use the animal pen extension. Here we have the food trough. And then around the corner, we have our cow area, our manure, slurry, our straw, our water trough, and then our food trough is obviously going to be around the front of the building. We have our buy point for our cows, and then our milk trigger is going to be on the other side of the building. So we have the animal pen extension mod, and these are the water pipes that I was alluding to over there at the chicken coop. These are already here because this, for whatever reason, is set up as a custom animal or cow area, although it looks pretty much stock to me. This has been set up to hold 200 cows. And then we have our food trough, like I said, and then the milk trigger is going to be around the corner. There you go. Again, the animal pen extension mod is what puts the Lily milk sales. And I guess the fence is a little different. This wouldn't be here in that fashion in the base game one. So guys, that is the main farm here. Go ahead and get set up for the fly around. We're going to do a fly around the map and come back to the shop, which appears to be just north of the main farm here. And then we'll do a bit of a drive around. Get a little bit of extra altitude because this map is set up to be rather hilly, and you can see the diverse terrain that we've got going on here. We've got some very interestingly shaped fields. There's the castle up there on the hill. There's the vehicle shop I alluded to earlier. With our biogas plant, and then we're going to go ahead and make our way over here and check out the grapes and the olives. You can already see those fields down there. And then they extend on up the hillside. So here we have some olive saplings growing away on the hillside. Some more olive saplings. We have various white grapes in various stages of growth. And these are ready to harvest. You see what they look like in the ready to harvest state. Over here we have our red grapes that should also be in a ready to harvest state. One of these is. Here we go. So we have red grapes in the ready to harvest state. And then this is the second olive and grape silo. Another one of those little brick buildings. This particular one is empty. And then we've got another olive field over here. And then an olive field over there. One of our selling stations is down below. Another one over here to our right. I have to say, one of the aspects that I really like about this map is the varied terrain. I think I've kind of talked a little bit about maybe some of the questionable choices made with respect to the farm silo at our starting farm versus being a standard silo, and things. I could see it if we owned the grape and olive farms at the beginning. I wouldn't really say that this particular area is primarily focused on grapes and olives, with only 12 out of 73 fields set aside for grape and olives, but hey, okay. So here we have the horse farm, and this area is going to need to be purchased before we can use it. So this is going to be $87,000. And you'll see after we bought it, the horse icon does indeed come up. We're going to take a look at that here in a little bit. Here we have the iconic castle from Felsburn. And then we'll loop on around, and we've got our shop directly in front of us. And then just to our right, we have the starting farm. We have our maintenance, repair, and sell point right here. We have our farm shop. Go ahead and lease our Mahindra. Got our vehicle spawn point right there. I have to say, trying to decide if this is the exact spot as the farm shop on Fellsburn or not. I mean, it's pretty much the farm shop from that map, but I'm a little curious, given the spawn direction, if maybe this, as far as on the PDA, might actually be where the farm shop typically is on Fellsburn. Let's go ahead and, I guess, go this direction. I do want to go by the multiple leveled waterfall. Oops. That is along this road. I guess we got to go out the other way. For this part of the drive, let's go ahead and do some in-cab driving. Get kind of that first-hand experience of the various terrain elevation changes. The bridge, we've got our nice multi-staged waterfall action going on there. Now we are right over here, close to the map boundary, or close to the playable map boundary. Do like the rock work that's been done, and there we have our grape fields, our olive fields. Yeah, it looks like the guardrail has seen better days, right? Let's go ahead and loop on into the BGA. Here we have basically the Fellsburn biogas plant. We've got our digester, our digestate trigger, and our two large silage bunkers. Let's go ahead and make sure the triggers come up. We've got 1 and 2. Past the biogas plant, we do have a fuel area. And let's go ahead and see if we can't head up here to sell point 3 and 4. 1 and 2. I feel like one of those eye doctors. Which is better, 1 or 2, 3 or 4? And you go, I don't know, they all look the same. You're like, are you trying to trick me here? We have cell station 3. Again, all of these cell stations are all set up to accept the same crops. At this point, really the only variability to them is going to be the just normal farm sim economy and the price variability that's built into that. Some pretty nice details on the map. Did see down by the grape and olives, we did have kind of some tree stumps placed in and around the area. Yeah, up here we've got this kind of tower. We've got some logs. We've got some tree stumps down here. It's a little grassy, grassy area. Really nice attention to details on this, in my opinion. Just gotta figure out how to get to cell point 4. Oh, there it is. Make our way over here to the animal dealer. We've got right there, we've got our chickens and cows and horses, since we did buy the horse area during the flyover. Just checking to see what might be the best way to get over to the rest of the map. It looks like we're going to have to double back here to the shop and then head around. We've got the sawmill over here by this big forested area. We've got cell station 5, cell station 2, horse farm, and then our spinnery, and cell station 1. This is another one of those maps that's going to play bigger than it is, basically because of how the fields just wrap around, wind around the various elevations. It's going to be a really great map for folks that want to play and enjoy smaller equipment, small to medium equipment. I think given the size of these fields here, you could probably easily work with stuff that's 6 meters or smaller. Take this road and wind on over to sawmill. I kind of think if the map is gonna be focusing on grapes and olives, that probably should be what is primarily planted as far as field setups go. So we've got our wood chips right there. lake to look at when you're over here selling your logs. And we have our log trigger right there. Just go ahead and don't mind us. We're just cutting through your backyard. A decent amount of grass just scattered around the map. Since most of it is going to be already owned land, you make a pretty good living just going around and collecting grass. Big water trigger. I wonder if... Oh, it just looks like it's a regular water tower. I don't see any indication of an actual water trigger there. We have cell station number 1. Nice little dump area. And this is where we want to be on. It's definitely the road we want to be on. It's going to take us up around the spinnery and the remaining sell points. This isn't on the map as a fuel station. I don't see a fuel trigger. It's just checking that signboard. I had the Ravenport or the Felsburn PDA, I think. We've got our wool and cotton sell point. Whoa, why is this dumpster right here? Seems a rather odd spot for the dumpster, but okay. Another dump station there, and then what is this, Plateau? The barn. Okay, so this is our silage, hay, straw, and grass sell point. We do not own biogas plant. And over here in the shadow of the Great Castle, we have our horse farm. So 12 horses. We have the horse trigger. We have our food trough. We have our water trough. And then we have our straw trigger. Right there. Let's just go ahead and check our animal food. Pretty standard for chickens, standard for cows, and standard for our horses. Get field 34, I think, with that horse farm purchase, and now we've got a long winding drive around before we get to cell station number 5. So again, I thought we would do a little in-cab driving just to, once again, kind of get that from the road perspective, which can often give us a much different view with respect to elevations and terrain changes than we get from the classic above and behind. Like I said, I really like the rock work that he's done here on the rock face. And 54 over here is a rather interesting shape. Kind of just hugging the rock face, going back in that little knoll. What are these? Cotton plants, okay. You get this feeling of some mountainy roads here. Cutbacks. And we gotta go this way. Nearly went the wrong way. Looks like the other way is going to take us to the map edge. Yeah, really nice terrain, elevation changes. Winding roads really give you a sense that the map is a lot bigger than it really is because of how you have to wind around to all the various areas and such. And here we have cell station number 5. So guys, that is the Great Plains. Let me know in the comments, what do you all think of this particular map? I think it's a pretty interesting concept, pretty interesting design. I think if the map is going to be advertised as focusing on grapes and olives, there should probably be more fields of grapes and olives. I would think that maybe the starting farm should probably own a couple grape and olive fields, especially if its main silo is going to be grapes and olives. So until next time, happy farming.